Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our pitch event number, I think, 66. So we've done quite enough for the last almost 18 months. And today we host great funders coming from Europe, exactly UK and Madrid, and also US in LA with Emily. So thank you everyone who is watching us today. And before starting, you can follow us and our pitch event live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, as well as you can make any questions today, and we bring your question to our founders. Thank you so much, Grace, Oscar, Darren, and Emily, to be with us today and pitch your great idea. And without taking any time from you, I will start off funders number one. Oscar Rubio, CEO and founder of Lodgerin. Lodgerin is based headquartered in Madrid, Spain. Rental marketplace, seed around 400K in euros. How's it going, Oscar?
Everything is going well. Thank you, Max, for the opportunity of introduce Lodgerin to all the audience, and I hope everyone find interest in our project, right? Well, my name is Oscar Rubio. I'm CEO and founder of Lodgerin. Lodgerin, at the end, is the conclusion of several entrepreneurships that I have been doing during the last 10 years when, first of all, I studied my degree in United Kingdom, in Leeds, and I had a lot of issues with the housing, etc. So when I came back, I decided to take action and I create my first entrepreneurship, creating a traditional property management company. And after all that experience, I create Lodgerin. So basically that is the introduction. So as I said, the conclusion of all my experience was Lodgerin, the first rental marketplace in the midterm market with digital services for housing owners. Basically, the problem or the actual problem in this market is practically the same that when I start. Housing owners are using a lot of platforms, what generates confusion in the kind of tenant that they are getting, and then in the process that is coming after the booking process. So it generates up to 35% over cost during the rental agreement. Lodgerin is the solution. Lodgerin is the solution which consolidates all the services in one platform. We manage not just the maintenance or assistance, the booking process, the digital signature of the contract, the rental payments, everything just in one platform. What makes the result or the benefit better than in other softwares. The market size, it's 38 million operations last year, and it has been increasing since the COVID situation up to 160%. Why now? Why is this moment? 4 of 10 people or students, young professionals are thinking in coming abroad to live. 90% of operations will be managed digitally in the next 3 years. And we are expecting up to 185% of new movements in the next 3 years. Our differential factor, as I said at the beginning, we have everything in one tool. We are different to our competitors because we focus in the housing owner having a B2B model. Basically, it's how we get the offer, but in a marketplace, we need the demand as well. So the way we generate demand in a recurrent way is our differential factor in that position. Getting a B2B2C model to generate that demand who covers a good tenant for the owner. Our business model is an hybrid between transaction and subscription, having services for transaction fee and subscription in terms of the onboarding service or the full managed service. Our traction during the last 4 years has been increasing, having ahead or passing trouble moments like the COVID situation that we passed through, or improving our technology and product. Now we have 42 web users having more than 2.5 2,500, sorry, booking requests, and having more than 12,000 accommodations listing in our marketplace. Our team is the best value we have. Our CEO and CTO has been in the project since the beginning, and for 4 years old company, we have a seniority of 2 years, which makes our team really strong in that way. Our roadmap, it's challenging, but at this moment in 2023, we are about 80% of the objectives that we have for this year, and we expect to grow per 2 during the next 2 years in the market. Now our valuation is 2.2 million. We are looking for 400,000 invest that we are going to dedicate for a structure for increasing the product team and increasing the growth team, for getting more operations in USA and multiply per 2 the number of operations. Well, I hope I didn't pass the time. Thank you again to all the audience for the attendance. And if you need or you have any kind of question, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Me, actually done extremely well. You're still almost a minute to be used. Let's use a minute for some Q&A.
Thank you. I was a bit worried about it.
No problem. I will start with Q&A, but anyone who wants to join me, please just write them and we'll bring to our funders, in this case, to Oscar. Oscar, where is your market now? Spain?
No, we are operating in Spain, Portugal, and Italy at this moment. We closed last year France because we didn't have team enough to generate the offer enough to cover, so we have to close, and that is why we need the investment round to continue our expansion in Europe.
So how do you market your platform? The onboarding process probably is going to be fully online, but do you have people on the venue? I mean, people on the ground that are going to talk to property landlords where they are?
Yeah, well, we make the product, we make the software, and we collaborate with some providers for making the ground job, let's say cleaning assistance or maintenance, etc. It's something that we provide as collaboration agreements with external companies. At the end, the liability in the staff of maintenance and cleaning is the owner, the housing owner.
Okay, and how do you on one side recruiting all the services that you need for your property, and also where do you find the owners?
Well, it's a B2B model. Basically, to generate the offer or to get owners, housing owners in this case, we attend several events, physical events across the countries where we work. We use channels as referral, SEO, or other channels, let's say, to generate this offer. But basically, it's a B2B model where the direct sales it's so strong. And then to generate the collaborations with external providers is quite simple. As well as the owner, we generate collaborations, trying to make the search, make meetings, get the contract, and then validate the quality on the service by the owners, by the housing owners.
I mean, you start in 2020, so which means you have been practically through all COVID, which can be the worst for something like your service, okay? Where everything dropped massively. You survived. Now, for scaling, because you're still very small in terms of revenue and properties and users. For scaling, what's the receipt for you? And do you think 400K is enough to scale?
Yeah, well, indeed, we are going to complement the seed round with a soft loan based in Spain, which is called ENISA. It's a soft loan that we are going to complement with the investment round. And according to our business plan, is more than enough to grow the expectations that we have in our business plan. Basically, what we are going to do with the money is to generate more demand and expansion in the American country. where we have already more than 120 collaboration agreements with universities and multinational who make our demand a recurrent demand, because it's not just one time, it's every year, let's say that. And then the rest, the 20% of the invest, we will dedicate that for the improvement of our product. Our product is ready to sell, indeed is profitable at this point, but we are thinking in some improvements that we need to do to improve our benefit and our revenue as well.
After this round, you're moving to scale. Where are the markets that you're looking for? Because Spain, Italy, and Portugal are very similar. And after you go to the Dutch, and after you go to UK, Ireland, they are totally different way. And by the way, in UK, you will face a very tough competition.
Yes, indeed. But in our roadmap, we are thinking more in countries like France, Germany, or Poland, where we have verify and check demand and offer in both ways, and we couldn't attend to those markets because the problems with the financing or our economic resources. We didn't grow so fast because we didn't have the resources at that moment. UK, it's a market that we are interested in, but we know that the competition is so high. So it's something that we have to take carefully. And I don't think in this 2 years business plan, we will go for the UK market. I don't think so.
Oscar, thank you so much. Stay with us. Don't go, because we are all back soon. Why
Okay.
move to our second founder.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let me go to our founder number 2, not because he's the second one, only because he's coming after Oscar. Grace Gimson, sorry, Grace, founder of Holy Health. Holy Health is based in London, UK. Health tech seed around 650K in pounds. How's it going, Grace?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. So let's give an introduction to yourself, and after just go straight to the pitch. Don't wait for me.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. My name's Grace Gimson. I'm co-founder and CEO at Holy Health. And just briefly on my background, really, I'm a business manager and leader. So that's taken me through various positions at places like Microsoft, Deliveroo in its early scaling days. And I've also been in the role of chief of staff through a startup acquisition into Facebook. So I've kind of seen the start, middle, end of different startups and companies. But ultimately, since I was a teenager, I've always wanted to combine technology and psychology, and that's exactly what we're doing in Holy Health. So yeah, perfect time to load up the slides. Holy Health is a digital yet human-like health coaching platform which supports patient self-management for people who are living with or who are at risk of long-term conditions. So a quick high-level summary of us. We're operating in a $15 billion chronic disease market that as yet has not been fully impacted by technology. Some of you may understand the principles of atomic habits or tiny habits, and we're really bringing these approaches to life, supporting lasting health changes using technology. All of our tech is built from the ground up, and we're achieving really impressive health outcomes, and we have 6 external university research collaborations already. So far, we've supported 30,000 people, and we're partnered with over 150 GP practices for clinical delivery. And the future growth opportunities are looking extremely bright, and we have an open funding round, which is about 70% filled already. So what's the problem we're addressing? This is about the massive rates of long-term and chronic conditions affecting 2/3 of us, but about 70% of them are preventable through lifestyle habits. There are millions of people who need and want behaviour change support, but they just can't get it because services are oversubscribed and expensive. So what's needed is highly personalised yet scalable coaching support that's affordable, effective over the long term, holistic, so covers mental and physical health, data-driven and clinically integrated. So by combining these, we've kind of put ourselves in a league of our own. We know that the answer lies in technology. and that has to be delivered by compassionate humans. So that's when we got building with Holly Health. Holly Health is basically the service where small actions lead to really big outcomes for both the end users in their health changes, but also the healthcare payers. We provide our personalized coaching to what we call the unsupported middle. So people who are not health optimizers on one side, but they're also not severely unwell, which leads about 80% of people who are in the middle and gradually declining, unfortunately. We cover 4 holistic health areas: sleep, exercise, nutrition, and mental well-being. And the user journey involves initially a behavioral health check where we get to know their current habits and health motivations. We then take them through personalized habit creation. And once they're inside the app, we're nudging them proactively and in a personalized way to achieve their health changes. And then we help to track their health outcomes over time. And we can report all of that data back to our partners. Our average user is in their 50s and has on average 2 long-term conditions already. And it's usually a mix of physical and mental health challenges. So these are really people that the healthcare systems care about. We're also on the NHS Innovation Accelerator, and we're very close to senior NHS England decision-making. So we're kind of lining ourselves up in the right ways. Let's have a very quick look at the back end. So you can't see this if you're playing around with the service, but we have a very complex series of systems, including the recommender system. So how do we get the personalized coaching out depending on medical conditions, current habits, motivations? And we've also made Holly Health to be extremely engaging and impactful through over 900 hours of user feedback over the last 3 years. And our services are now popping up all around the UK, and our outcomes are looking really exciting. So for example, 86% of our users think that they have new automatic habits after 8 weeks. We see an average increase to exercise of 19% after 8 weeks, average reduction in anxiety of 23%, and 34% of our users think they need less support from their doctor after using the service. So beyond the NHS and public health opportunities, where we're already partnered with lots and lots of practices around the country, we're also starting work with large insurers and mental health providers, amongst others. Basically, behaviour change that's scalable is needed all over the place. And I don't expect anyone to be able to see the detail on this slide, but we have a really clear roadmap across product, research, and commercial expansion. We're targeting 4 million annual recurring revenue in 2025. And I'm incredibly lucky to be working with my colleagues, and they span psychological medicine. We have a GP in the team. We have really great product expertise and growth and operations as well, and just a really lovely team to work with. And we also have excellent investors and advisors as well. Some very big names in there, like Paul Forster, who founded Indeed.com and Kima Ventures, to name a couple. And finally, we're raising at the moment, we've just secured £325,000 in Innovate UK grant funding, and we're actually match funding that amount with investor funds. And that's going to extend our runway beyond 18 months. We actually expect to achieve profitability in that time. And space in the round is very limited now. We expect it to fill inside September. So if you are interested, do grab my email and reach out as soon as you can. Thanks very much, and happy to go on to questions.
Thank you, Grace. Pretty impressive. But outside NHS, which is absolutely, it's very supportive, especially when you start, your revenue stream, how is it going to grow in the years to come to reach that numbers?
Yeah, so to be honest, everyone who's delivering preventative health has to take a few kind of bets at this stage, because healthcare is evolving so much and we can't say for sure which kind of vertical is going to move the fastest. But if I had to make predictions, our biggest payer in future is most likely to be health insurance providers and life insurance as well. So over the last kind of couple of years, we've really been building up relationships with massive international insurers who have been delivering point solutions like diabetes prevention, therapy for mental health and weight loss, that kind of thing. But they really want to start doing more kind of accessible behavior change support. ultimately to increase competition and reduce their costs over time. So that's going to be the biggest. There's also massive opportunities with chronic disease management companies. So lots of kind of more device heavy services that need to have the behavior change angle as well. And obviously mental health on its own. It's great that we've got more and more kind of therapy providers, but actually to have the support between therapy sessions is becoming important as well. So those are some example verticals.
I mean, coaching is becoming very, very popular, and I do believe it's there. People need, actually everyone need some kind of coach in any possible aspect of their life. But how do you stand out from your competitors? Because you have many.
Yeah. So there are various coaching services. I think the biggest differentiator is the combination between our personalized habit setup. So helping people to not have to think so hard themselves, but just to realize, okay, Holly Health, from getting to know you, recommends these particular habits, helps you with the infrastructure to achieve those, and then the nudging, so the reminders to keep doing them over time. That infrastructure is really impactful. But the other side of the service that people say is the thing that really keeps them going is the compassionate nature of the coaching. So it's not making people feel bad if they don't achieve a habit today. It's more about saying, we know everyone's having a stressful time. It might have been a really stressful day. Don't worry if you can only do the bare minimum. You still feel better from a 5-minute walk. So let's make that happen. So it's building people up to feel better about being kinder to themselves ultimately. And that's kind of keeping people around. I can see a question on the screen.
Yeah. Now, George Looney, is it possible to expand using your net profit?
It will be, absolutely. Not quite yet, but our gross margin is 85%. So the cost of running our service is actually very low compared to what we charge, and the charges are still affordable for healthcare providers. So over time, we will definitely be able to expand using our profits, but not quite yet.
I mean, at the very beginning, you still need to spending a lot of money to expand, so profit is not going to be there in a short time. Probably will take a while before you can use it, but of course, one day you need. Which is your investor persona? I mean, what are you looking for to close this round?
So the investors that we love to talk to at the moment, and this is most of the investors joining this round, is people with a background in healthcare. Or if they don't have a background or kind of industrial experience with healthcare, it's more just a really keen interest in advancing human health. All of our investors really believe in the mission and what we're trying to achieve to get tangible health changes to millions of people. So I think it's the belief in that. And then if you are able to bring any kind of healthcare expertise as well, that's always very, very helpful.
Any plan to go outside UK?
Yes, for sure. Hopefully we'll be very international soon. In fact, we've had downloads of our app across at least 30 different countries. So we know there's an appetite there. But in terms of our B2B distribution, we're actually earmarking Australia and the USA for our next markets. And we're going to be launching there firstly through partnerships, so without having a team on the ground. But from kind of 2025 onwards, we expect to have people on the ground in at least the US.
Let me close with the passion. I do believe founders who really succeed, they must have a very huge passion behind doing stuff, challenging itself. What brings you to this venture?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And I can't put my finger on why I wanted to do this since I was a teenager. But I think it's a combination of things. Like, I've had a nice upbringing. I know that I have the potential to do impactful, helpful things in the world. So it's partly that, just kind of an internal mission. It's partly like I love technology. I grew up with it. With my dad was a researcher at Hewlett Packard, and that kind of got me excited by the potential there. And psychology, it just means I'm learning all the time without studying psychology myself. I'm always learning what can I do with my own health. And yeah, I guess I just like proving to myself what I can achieve. And I think that's the same for the rest of the team. We just get a lot of satisfaction from the growth.
Great. Thank you so much, Stay, because we are all back soon. I'm moving to our third founder. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Darren Forde, founder and CEO of Samdai. Samdai is headquartered in South Yorkshire, UK. Logistics, pre-seed around 200K and SCIS approved, of course, in pounds. How's it going, Darren?
I'm not bad, thank you, Max. I'm not bad, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity as well to obviously join EquityMatch and be a part of the show today.
Thank you so much. Thanks to you for coming. Please give an introduction to yourself and after go straight. Don't wait for me.
Perfect. So yeah, my name is Darren Forde and I'm the founder and CEO of Samdai. My background is actually within fashion, but then also professional sport. So I'm come from a professional background in rugby league. So a lot of my journey within business has been actually taken from the rugby field and being able to get knocked down and get back up and really internalizing the processes and building that into the business. And then ultimately building a team around what we've got to be able to get to where we are now. And the idea actually stemmed from that, which you should hear about now. So a few months ago, I was planning the perfect date night for my wife. I booked her favorite restaurant, bought her flowers, and she was absolutely ecstatic to be going. And then everything changed. The outfit that she had planned didn't fit as she remembered. This left her feeling anxious, lacking confidence, and although she didn't want to go out anymore. Unfortunately, she had two options. Those two options weren't satisfactory. One of them was order or rent something new online that ultimately wouldn't come in time. The other option was to run around frantically and try to piece together a new outfit that would keep her feeling the same. Unfortunately, 30% of women are left feeling like this on a monthly basis, costing retailers roughly £2.7 billion every year. But that's not the worst of it. 300,000 tons of CO2 is pumped into our atmosphere every single year because fashion logistics is slow, outdated, and costs too much. But that's where Samdai comes in. With Samdai, my wife would be able to order her fashion online and have it delivered sustainably in less than 2 hours, cutting the CO2 emissions by 20 to 50%. She'll get rewarded for subscribing to Samdai by getting discounts at places that she actually wants to go out and wear her fashion, making Samdai go beyond the delivery. In the future, we aim to tackle the return journey, tackling the 1 in 3 returns that we saw in the UK back in 2022. For the retailer, we do away with complicated integrations and manual order creation. We simply optimize, integrate, and automate their process to make it nice and easy. How does it work? You can order directly through our MVP mobile app that is currently in beta, or you can order directly through the retailer's website through our direct integration software. But what differentiates us from our competitors at the moment and new competitors that will come into the market? At current, we are 7 times faster than our competitive counterparts. We integrate directly with the retailers' websites and software. We have a much faster response time, and we do away with order cut-off times, allowing you to order way past 12 or 2 o'clock and get it within 2 hours instead of waiting until the evening. Our fleet is a green fleet, which by the end of 2024, we aim to have it completely net zero. And the user can also track their delivery. But what are the different use cases that we've identified so far? We've identified that there are trips and events, last minute gifts, spontaneous outings, and wardrobe malfunctions are the use cases for people using our software and using Samdai. But we're focusing primarily on trips and events and last minute gifts in our go-to-market strategy, as we can track these more easily. For the user, there are 2 different business models: a pay per delivery, which is matched at that of next day delivery, or a subscription model, which is between $6 and $12.99. For the businesses, we simply charge a 10% commission. So far, we've had over 200 paying subscribers through our platform, We've partnered with almost 50 different businesses in Sheffield. We've got a great following and an affiliate marketing team, and we've seen positive early signs of traction. We've had 100% business retention with the businesses that we've onboarded so far. We've had a month-on-month average growth of 20% from those businesses, and we've had 100% 5-star outstanding reviews from the deliveries that we've completed. The market is a £14.4 billion market, which we aim to capture 1% in the next 3 to 4 years. Our financial forecast is based on 3 main assumptions over a 3-year period. In year 1, we gain SEAS investment, and we finally launch our app onto the market. In year 2, we accelerate our strategic partnerships with businesses, and between year 2 and year 3, we expand beyond Sheffield into the UK other cities. The team that is behind this has extensive experience in fashion and building logistics software. We are also backed by 2 advisors, one that has loads of experience in actually growing and scaling startup businesses, but then the other is Paul Mathers, the ex-Deliveroo head of operations, who saw Deliveroo go from 60 drivers all the way to plus 300. So we are currently seeking SEIS investment of £200,000 to be able to achieve these. My name is Darren Forde, and I'd love to hear your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. The first 2 questions are very simple. The first one is, you have good numbers, but not good enough, which means what is missing except money for you to scale this business?
Sorry, could you repeat the first part of that question? I just missed it.
So these numbers are good, but not good enough for venture capital today. Mm-hmm. What is missing that you believe it can help you take away the money, help you to scale this business, start having a very strong growth?
Yeah, so one thing that we identified as missing, because we are very much in the early stage of gaining data, and we've just launched our MVP app, like I mentioned. But it's actually we're currently seeking an advisor to come in for the role of more experience in the retail sector. So they've either scaled their own business or they have extensive experience in fashion, so that they can open doors, because we've identified that strategic partnerships are the things that allow us to scale a lot faster, allow us to make new and more orders, because we can capitalize on the current markets and the current users that they already have. So it's somebody that's able to open those doors a lot faster than we would be able to do if we didn't have that money.
In terms of delivery, which is the main part of your business, be able to deliver on demand very fast.
Yeah.
How do you make it?
How do we do it? Yeah. So it's primarily our software. So the software that we've built from the ground up, it ultimately is very similar to the likes of the food delivery market. So looking at Uber Eats, the Deliveroos, the Just Eats. Very simply, it plots each of our businesses in a certain radius. So it's all hyperlocal. And then it will track that with the delivery drivers as well as the customers. When an order comes in, the store will get that order, or the warehouse will get that order. They simply pack it, a driver picks it up, and then it's enabled to be delivered from that. So in terms of the software, it's simple to understand, but there's a lot more behind the scenes. And the other side is the direct integration, which we're working on at the moment. We're currently 85% of the way there in terms of launching that out onto multiple platforms, but that is the key to expanding quickly as well.
In terms of logistics, who is going to handle the logistics?
So that's part of why we're actually looking for investment. So we've got Paul Mathers as part of our advisory team. Obviously, he's gone through operations with Deliveroo from beginning to obviously scaling. Part of his advice was very early on getting a operations manager on board. So that will be where some of that investment will actually go. It will be roughly 6 months down the line so that they can manage those orders. the first 6 months, we're not expecting to have a volume of deliveries that is out of our control and not manageable. But roughly, in terms of our time plan, by 6 months, that's when we're expecting a big hike. So that's where we want them to come on board.
I really wish you. Who are the investors you're looking for?
Who are the investors we're looking for? So I think it merges the advisor role that we're looking for as well. So somebody that either has experience within scaling a business, because this is my first time founding, so I'm a first-time founder. But then also somebody that has experience within the fashion industry at a higher level with more corporate businesses, so that they're able to actually open doors a lot faster than we would be able to previously.
As before, do you have any passion? Why are you doing this? I mean, what drives you to be a founder?
So I'd definitely say that a lot of it comes from my professional rugby career. When you're playing rugby and you're on a field, there's you and your team, and you've got a goal to achieve, and it's a lot of that is internal, but you've got to rely on the team to achieve it, and you set goals. There's so many mirrors between sport and business. I think as I was getting towards the end of my career, I saw the gap in the market, and it allowed me to, or it set me on fire, the same as when I was on the rugby pitch. And that transition from retiring to actually going into business has been the same passion and desire. So I can't say that it's actually stemmed from anywhere. I'd say that it's an internal fire. But now that we are really focusing on the sustainable aspect of it and the positive impact that we can have, that's hand in hand with the internal passion that I have.
Darren, thank you so much. Don't go, stay, because I'm introducing our last but absolutely not the least founder. And after we are bringing all of you guys back for our closing. Emily Williams, co-founder of Buffy Protein Dips. I'm addicted to protein. I almost eat only protein. So I'm looking forward to your pitch, Emily. And headquartered United States, West Coast, food and beverage, pre-seed around 400K in USD. How's it going, Emily?
It's great. Yeah, excited to be here from beautiful Los Angeles. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much for coming. Please give an introduction to yourself, and after go straight to pitch.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Williams. I just recently graduated from the Kellogg School of Management, where my co-founder, Audrey, and I both received our MBAs. Prior to business school, I worked in tech consulting, and she worked in strategic management consulting. During Kellogg, we both studied entrepreneurship. And so Buffy Protein Dips is sort of our baby, and what emerged from our shared passion for both protein and entrepreneurship. So to get us going, I want everyone to try to name 3 high protein snacks. So since this is a live streamed event, just think in your head what those would look like. And as a hint, hummus is not one of them. Like I mentioned, Audrey and I met when we were at Kellogg. And during that time, we both discovered that we shared this mutual frustration around the lack of high protein snacks in the market. We both consider ourselves to be very health conscious folks. And we knew that if we were really struggling to get our daily necessary protein intake, then other people were too. So we want to introduce you to Buffy Protein Dips. So what is Buffy? Buffy is a delicious, first of its kind dip that uses animal-based protein that consumers can eat as a tasty, healthy snack. So here is a competitive landscape chart. So you can see Buffy up in the right upper right quadrant. So we are currently the highest, we have the highest amount of protein per serving compared to any of the dips and spreads that are on the market in the United States. We also tout the cleanest ingredients. So everything that you see on a tub is a whole food recognizable ingredient. So Buffy protein dips are made with simple, tasty, high-quality ingredients that consumers recognize. So every tub is made with those 5 ingredients. So we use chicken as our base. So you're receiving, you know, a 100% amino acid profile, which is, again, our differentiator compared to the plant-based alternatives that are out there. And then we currently have 3 different SKUs. So in addition to those ingredients, we have some other ingredients that you can read here that are the differentiators. So what are the nutrition facts? So per serving, we offer about 12 grams of protein. Our non-dairy Whoa Buffalo SKU has slightly less at 10 grams of protein. And then we have on average 90 calories, 2 grams of fat, 3 carbs. And we offer 4 servings per tub. So because we are so low in calories, we have a higher serving size than some of the alternatives out there, which I think is actually a realistic expectation for people when they are eating dips. So in addition to just, you know, a typical dip with a chip or a vegetable like you see here on the left, there are other ways to consume Buffy, which again provides us with some ancillary markets to tap into here. So you can eat it as a sandwich, you can eat it as a pasta sauce. I mean, there's a million ways to consume this product. Moving into the market size here, so just to really focus on the right, the dips and spreads market, at least in the United States, is a $40 billion market. So it's massive, and it's growing at about 6% through 2029. So dips and spreads, snacking in general, are only becoming more popular in the United States. And so we anticipate that we'll be able to both grow the category here and capture some of this additional market share. What's the business opportunity here? We believe, again, for the reasons that I just mentioned with regards to the market size, we believe that there is an over $300 million revenue opportunity, and this we think is potentially conservative given that the number of vegans and vegetarians in the United States is actually shrinking. So more people are consuming protein, more people are moving over into these high protein diets because they understand just the myriad benefits that come from eating a low carb, low sugar, but high protein diet. Here's our business plan. This is quite detailed, but the one area that I want to touch on here, we recently did our brand design with Studio Please. Kyle Poff, he did Goodles, he's done Dunkin' Donuts, Multigrain, he did Nike. I mean, he's phenomenal. And outside of being, you know, an amazing, delicious, high protein product, we believe that Buffy is more than just a product. It is an ethos. It encompasses, you know, consumer sentiments with regards to how they consume meat and this shift away from being plant-based. So here's some of the branding that we just recently had done, which is amazing. And lastly here, the Buffy team. So like I mentioned, I am founder and CEO. My co-founder, Audrey, is Chief Dip Officer. And then we have some really amazing investors and advisors on board. So Paul Earle is a Kellogg professor, but he also started or founded Goodles, in addition to Big Nose Kate and other really incredible brands. And then over on the right, David is awesome too, but Brad Johnson, his family, Bill Johnson was the CEO of Kraft Heinz, and now they have a family fund. So we currently have about 70% of our pre-seed fund closed. So we need about 30% more, but we, you know, have a shrinking number there. So hopefully we can close that over the course of the next couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Now, what matters you, for what I can see also, is marketing. It's very important as you sell products, how you market them. What's your market strategy here to make sure that people is going to buy? And what's your communication strategy for what can be told, of course?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are planning to launch mid-2024. And so our marketing strategy is going to be implemented here over the course of the next couple of weeks. We recently hired someone to do marketing. So we have somebody completely dedicated to that role because, of course, with any kind of food brand, marketing is critical to the life of the product. So we have a strategy here. We actually have a couple investors that are professional athletes, and so we are going to leverage their likeness over social media in order to kind of slowly get consumers aware of this product. So we'll have a multi-pronged social media strategy. We also plan on bringing in an equity partner, somebody that is, a health and sports influencer, to come on at the beginning of 2024. So we can actually leverage a very similar playbook to the one that Goodles did, which again, Paul is our advisor. He's also an investor. He's co-founder of Goodles. They brought on Gal Gadot, if you know Gal Gadot. So she's a co-founder of Goodles now, and they're about to do, millions and millions of dollars of revenue. So we plan on replicating that exact same playbook for Buffy.
In terms of consumers, what is your target here? What are you targeting to consume your product?
Yep. So we believe, Buffy is for everyone. Everybody needs to consume protein. But our target demographic is men aged 25 to 45. So we believe that our branding does a great job of targeting or, speaking to that demographic. But beyond men, we believe that the secondary target market is women within that same age group who really care about ensuring that they're meeting their protein needs.
Who is the investor you're looking for? Actually, the investors you're looking for in order to close your round, and they must be based in US, or it's okay even if they come from outside the States.
So it's okay if they come from outside the United States, of course, as long as, they are an accredited investor. So at this point, we are really specifically looking for either high profile individuals, so people whose likeness we can leverage to be able to market this product, or a VC or some sort of family fund that provides consumer experience. And so the investors that we've brought on so far have experience launching brands within the snacking or food and bev industries. And so we are looking for investors that also have that same specialization.
And what's the passion for you? I mean, you say, I was reading your deck, you're talking about the travel to New Zealand. What gives you the energy to start a startup and keep going? Because startups is a pretty challenging way to go and live the life.
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, I know most of the people here, and I'm sure the people watching are based in Europe, but in the United States, we, the snack foods here are akin to poison. I mean, we can basically put whatever, companies are allowed to put whatever they want in food. And I think consumers are getting to the point where they are becoming so frustrated, myself included, with the lack of healthy alternatives that are out there. And for me, given that, I know how important protein is, people are starting to really understand how important animal-based protein is in a healthy diet. And my passion for this comes from a general frustration with the lack of healthy options, but then specifically the lack of healthy protein-dense options.
Thank you. Don't go. Stay there. We are now bringing all our founders, and I would like to close our pitch events as we always do. So meanwhile, I'm waiting for all the founders coming back. So 10 seconds. pretty much and very fast. Your elevator pitch, convincing investors to invest in your startup. Emily, if you want to start in 10, 20 maximum seconds, what would be your message to investors?
My message to investors is that Buffy is positioned to stand out in this boring dips and spreads market as the only alternative to plant-based dips. Like I mentioned, consumers are shifting away from the heavily processed and additive-laden options. And Buffy's clean and wholesome ingredient list positions it as a standout choice in the $40 billion US snacking industry.
Thank you, Emily. Grace.
Thank you. I think anyone who really believes in advancing the future of health, this is an awesome opportunity. We get lots of government grant funding, and this is almost closed this round, so definitely reach out. And the traction is just really building up massively across product, commercials, and research. So it's a great time to join.
Thank you, Grace. Darren.
So I'd say Samdai is on a mission to revolutionize the last mile fashion logistics. There's 300,000 tons of CO2 pumped into our atmosphere every year. We can, at the moment, reduce it by 20 to 50%. So if you want to join us on that journey in reducing it, making last mile logistics more sustainable, faster, and more affordable, then yeah, you should come join Samdai.
Thank you, Darren. Oscar, please close this pitch event.
Let's go.
Last message.
Perfect. Lodgerin is a validated product with a team who has passed through several issues like the COVID. We are generating traction and benefits. And trust me, if you invest in Lodgerin, you don't regret it.
Guys, I really thank all of you to spend your time with us, pitch your great idea, and I really wish all the best to you. And I do hope, and we do our best in EquityMatch to give you as much visibility to our investors as we can.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.